sound is working as always. Welcome. We're gonna have an interesting stream today. I'm going to be doing this in two versions. I'm going to be doing this webcam first. I feel like this is actually, sorry, just one sec. I feel like it's a little bit better. Webcam first, followed by I feel like it's a little bit followed by webcam, so I can share my screen. Let me just do this. Pin message. Okay, let's go back and set this thing to public. All right. Welcome. I hope everybody's doing well. Please take a moment, hit that like and subscribe button. Let's wait to see who joins. We're going to chat about Freemasonry. Now, the first hour, I'm going to be here because I want to show a few things off, and I do prefer streaming on my mobile phone. But then the second bit, after 60 minutes, I'm going to switch over and go onto my webcam because I want to share my screen. There's a very important initiative, program, service that is at risk right now, and it does affect Freemasonry. So I want to talk about that. Hello, Dylan. Thank you for being here. I hope you're doing well. Please take a moment, hit that like button. How is your day treating you? Well, good evening for you, Dylan. Yes, you're about 6 hours ahead of us, if I recall correctly. Which is why during my 1 a.m. streams, you're always saying good morning. Which I guess technically it's morning for me as well. However, does not feel like a good morning. Because it's 1 a.m., so it feels still like midnight. Please take a moment, though. Hit the like button. I hope you're doing well, and thank you for being here. Well, for now, I hope that I hope you're not just alive for now. I hope you're alive for many, many weeks in the future, many years in the future, in fact, many decades in the future, perhaps, but still, nonetheless, thank you for being here, and I hope you're doing well. You want to be alive for a little bit longer than, just for now. Let's get a bit of time. Let's see who joins. Please take a moment, hit the like and subscribe button. As always, this first hour, we just hang out, chat about whatever it is, and no specific topics. The second hour, I do have some ideas, some things I want to talk about, for which I'm going to be going to my webcam because I want to be able to share my screen because there's something really important I want to be showing off. So, hello, Michael Christopher. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here. We're going to wait a bit longer, see who else joins. Everybody who's new to the stream, please hit like and subscribe. Do you agree with or participate in? I do not know what a cremation of care is. If you're asking about just cremation, I think that's up to the individual and his will and his family and what they want to see. So I have no opinions about it beyond everybody can, do what they please with their final remains. Hello, Artie. Well, I don't think you are actually the comedian, but hello nonetheless. I do not know what that is. Freemasonry has nothing to do with Bohemian Grove. Freemasonry is a civic organization or a civic institution. Bohemian Grove is, I do not even know what it is. I heard Alex Jones did a whole thing about it, but it's not related to Freemasonry, despite what some people may think. Despite what some conspiracy theorists out there may think. Please take a moment, as always, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. And thank you for being here. Consider even doing the consider even doing the super chat. Just 99 cents helps out big time. And let's give it a bit of time. Let's see who joins. Again, this first hour, just hanging out on my webcam, or sorry, hanging on my phone, chatting to see who joins. The second hour, we're going to be actually jumping onto the webcam because I'm going to be sharing my screen to show something very cool. Troy asks, well, to be one, ask one. If you're interested in joining a lodge, you need to approach the lodge that's close to your house. You can just go and knock on the door. However, the advice I always give is if you're going to knock on the door, bring a letter with you that has your contact information and expressing your interest in joining. That way, if nobody is present, you can just, either leave the letter in the mail box or slide it under the door or, put it through the mail slot. Or you can, if somebody is available, but they're too busy to talk to you, they have something going on, you can just give the letter to them. That way you're not wasting a trip. Or you can send them an email, or you can give them a phone call, right? Or you can post a letter. But the key is making sure that you approach them and express your interest in joining. It's not an overnight process. It takes a bit of time. But the first step is approaching the lodge and expressing your interest in joining. I'm a Freemason Stellar, and I have, by the way, please hit like and subscribe. Lee Partridge, Troy, please hit like and subscribe. Stellar, I have no beef with Christians. In fact, most of the Freemasons I know are Christians. So, I'm not sure where you're getting information from. Freemasonry, you need to believe in a supreme being. To be a Freemason, certainly Christianity would count. I've known many Christian Freemasons, as well as Jewish, Hindu, Sikh, etc., etc. The point is, indigenous Freemasonry, I have nothing but respect for people's faith, including Christian faith. Rich, that's a political question. Freemasonry is not political, but what I can say and what I will say is we have had many Native American and First Nations and Indigenous Freemasons. Freemasonry has actually been a very valuable and important part of First Nations culture. If you look, for example, the Oklahoma Indian Masonic degree team is one example of the connection between First Nations and Freemasonry. I did not know that. That is very cool, Dad. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Love you. That is very, very cool. So, see, I've always suggesting keep your eyes open, right? What that means is look around. You never know what you're going to find and where you're going to, find cool information, cool cornerstones. There's been so many times I've been traveling and just happened to come across a Masonic, cornerstone or a Masonic plaque or tribute. I actually did a scavenger hunt of special and cool Masonic items in and around Windsor. It was awesome. I've met many Native Americans as well as Native Canadians or Indigenous people, right? Yeah, I've known a few who have been my Masonic brothers. So, yeah. Nice. I'm going to check that out. That is very cool. I think I saw the email, but I haven't opened it yet. So, very cool. Thank you, Dad. Eric, no, let's not do that. All right. We're going to give it some more time, hang out, and then, like I said, we're going to be ending this stream. But the second hour, we are going to be switching over to my webcam so I can share the screen and talk about something very important, but it's easier to talk about it by sharing the screen. But for now, we're going to wait to see who jumps on and says hello. Once again, my 1 a.m. streams are way more popular than my 1 p.m. streams. So clearly my audience is like me, a bunch of night owls. Hello, Wild Heart. Thank you for being here. Hope you're doing well. I am here on YouTube. Hit that like and subscribe button. We're going to a bit of time, see who jumps on. You are from Maine? I really want to visit Maine. Um, I mean, part of it is because I love Stephen King, and also I hear there's some really cool Masonic buildings and temples there. Hello. Hello from Maine. Thank you for being here. DJ379. Well, maybe it's because you enjoy my content or you have questions about Freemasonry or who knows why, but I appreciate you being here. Um, it's the regular viewers that keep coming back that help grow the channel. So thank you so much for being here. I truly do appreciate it. I hope, if nothing else, you've learned a few things about Freemasonry from this channel, right? As I always say, the goal of this channel is to promote the ways that Freemasonry was and is relevant to the communities in which it's located, as well as promote stories of Masonic interest. So, one, Andre, I can't pronounce. I'm going to call you Andre. Hello, thank you for being here. I would love to visit the lodge in Boston. I think it would be incredible. Heather Stone, Freemasonry is not Satanism with extra steps or with any steps. Freemasonry is not satanic. You've been looking up some nonsense. Freemasonry is a civic or community institution. It's not religious in any sense. Honestly, I mean, we don't have drinking parties. There are some Freemasons who drink, some who don't. Sometimes special events may involve alcohol, sometimes they may not. It just depends on the lodge. However, if a Masonic lodge is considering holding an event that includes alcohol, it's important that they pay attention to whatever the rules, regulations, requirements are of the community, town, city, state, province in which they're located. So that could mean, for example, having your smart serve. So whoever's serving the alcohol does so correctly, having your insurance, having your permits, whatever it might be. Vic, I mean, you can be a Freemason if you worked for ICE. That's not going to stop you. However, keep in mind, Freemasonry is not political. So whatever political ideas you had, you would not be bringing that into the lodge, into Freemasonry. The biggest thing I always say, though, is don't ever prejudge. If you're interested in being a Freemason, go and ask them about being a Freemason and express your interest, and you go from there. We do not summon the devil. Once again, you are incorrect. I don't believe in summoning at all. I think I'm not one who believes in the supernatural. So the question of how I feel about ICE and Trump, that's a political question. Freemasonry is not political. Right? We have members who believe in all sorts of different things across the political spectrum. However, I will give my personal opinion, which is not a fan of either. We do not try, nor do we summon the devil. You'd be very disappointed if you learned the truth about what Freemasonry is, which is very boring compared to what you think. So once again, please take a moment, hit that like and subscribe button. I do appreciate being here very much. I'm Canadian. I can't vote in American elections at all. That's a good question, Vic. Every Freemason needs to decide that for himself. There is no single goal to being a Freemason, right? Every Freemason has his own goals and his own reasons for joining. Excuse me. For me personally, it's about trying to build better communities and build a better world through the application of brotherly love, relief, and truth. That is my goal. I don't know. You have to believe in a supreme being. You have to be an adult, at least 21 years of age in some jurisdictions, 18 in others. And you have to take the first step, which is approach the lodge and express your interest in joining. After that, there's, they get to know you, you get to know them. They may ask for things like criminal record checks. I mean, all that stuff, though, even if you have a criminal record, that's not an automatic denial in many jurisdictions. The biggest thing, what you need to do is make sure that you, approach the lodge and express your interest in joining and go from there. Well, I never said the goal is to find the truth of, I don't even know what the term the truth means. Everybody has their own version of the truth, certainly when it comes to spiritual matters. I mean, what I would say again is the secretive nature of Freemasonry, or the private elements of Freemasonry, help maintain the bonds of brotherhood. So I heard about that. I heard about that. There's such a thing as heat, and there's such a thing as being stupid. Having said that, um, I don't want to say to anybody, like, I hope he finds other work. I hope that, he learns. I don't know. It's one of those things where sometimes you gotta be careful, but I'm also want to be careful. I mean, people make mistakes, um, all the time. So you'd have to ask each individual Mason, right? There is asking like what do Masons want? We're individuals. We have our own opinions on political questions, like a one world government, or even what that even means. Do you mean like I don't know what that would mean. I will say there are some Masons who maybe are more oriented towards support for things like United Nations or global institutions. There are some Freemasons who are believe very much in like individual states and nationalism. Some may not even support free trade. Asking do Masons want, it's a foolish question because it shows a lack of understanding of what Freemasonry is. Every Freemason has his own political views. There is no one telling us what Freemasons want. That's not how it works. Um, do Freemasons help? They can. Ilden. I mean, they can help each other financially. Certainly, joining a Masonic lodge, you increase your network, and by increasing your network, you may have people who can help you out. There are also times when the lodge itself will give what's called benevolence, where if you are struggling financially, you can request from the lodge benevolence, which basically means I need help paying my dues or paying my rent. I've known 3 brethren, I used to say 2, it's actually 3, who would have been homeless were it not for the lodge stepping in and providing them with financial assistance. Having said all of that, you have to be really careful because if you're joining Freemasonry with the hope of getting financial help, that's not always possible. A lot of lodges maybe don't have the funds to help their members financially. And by the same token, in many cases, a lot of Masonic lodges, the membership may not have the ability to help either, depending on the financial status of the typical member. So it's not a reason to join in and of itself because there's no guarantee. Having said that, certainly it has happened in the past. So it's one of those things where, it's possible. Well, Freemasonry is global. Heather, you are incorrect. So Freemasonry is all over the world. However, it's decentralized. So what that means is I can visit, I'm a member of a lodge in Ontario. Therefore, I am under the rules as it relates to the Grand Lodge of Ontario. My bylaws, my constitution, my governing body is in Ontario. There's no, that's my governing body. I can visit a lodge in Texas, Rio de Janeiro, the Philippines, and they will welcome me in as a brother. However, they're also under different jurisdictions. They have different rules, and they can choose to recognize me as a Mason or not. There is no single global Masonic entity that controls lodges. Rather, it primarily goes state by state, or in Europe, country by country, if that makes any sense. Well, I am Scottish Rite. So Freemasonry is not a pyramid scheme for a variety of reasons. The main reason I would say it's not a pyramid scheme is because a pyramid scheme, right? The whole goal is to make money. Freemasonry is not about that. Nobody's joining and making money. Nobody's joining and being promised to make money. If you are ever claimed like join Freemasonry and you'll get rich, they're lying to you. That's not what Freemasonry is about. Um, oh, the United Kingdom. There are a ton of lodges in the United Kingdom, Ilden. In fact, Freemasonry started in the United Kingdom. So there are a ton of Masonic lodges there. Um, And yeah, I would say certainly you'll find a Masonic lodge if you're interested. Don't expect it to be a rush. Don't expect to get through quick. That's not how it works, but you can definitely find the time to get there. And yeah, you'll talk to them, express your interest. But there are a lot of lodges in the United Kingdom. You can't go to one and join. You can, without a doubt, go and express your interest in joining and say why you want to join and then go through the process. It's not a quick process. It takes time, but that's okay. It's worth it. But go and express your interest in joining. You can send them an email, you can write them a letter, you can call them, you can find a lodge in your area and knock on the door. Just make sure you bring with you a card with your contact information. So if no one's available, they can talk to you about joining. Um, it depends, but primarily, I'll say there's one step that you have to take in the process, and that's the first step, which is approaching the lodge and expressing your interest. That's it. Do that, everything else follows from there. Um, well, again, I've known some Masonic bankers. I've also known some Masonic janitors. Freemasonry is not exclusive to any particular profession. We got the hearts. I think that's Smokey the Clown. Rodolph, I've got cooking hitting the like and subscribe button. So it doesn't mean to be religious, but the Supreme Being is a personal belief every Mason must have. It's unique to every Mason. You could believe in, for example, you could be Muslim, Christian, Jewish. When I say Christian, Catholic, or Protestant, you could be Hindu, Sikh, you could be indigenous. It's about you have to believe in some version of a Supreme Being. It's not specified. You don't even have to have a religion. Like, I would not call myself religious. I don't necessarily believe in a religion per se, but I do believe in a Supreme Being. Um, okay, let me send you a message, but let's say maybe 6 p.m. When you say 5 your time or 5 my time? Because we're on different time zones. Thank you, Rodolph. I appreciate that very much. It's wonderful to have everybody here. Uh, Darkness is, perhaps more literal than metaphorical, who knows? But everybody is in the dark with something, right? Heather Stone, everything is in the dark with something. So I am in the dark as it relates to your bank account information, as I should be. That's not, mine to know. You are very much in the dark when it comes to Freemasonry. There's always something more to learn. There's always something more to know about. There's always something more to learn. Whether you believe in Christ or whatever your religious faith is, that doesn't change the fact that there will be areas of life within which you are in the dark. Hopefully, you can try to learn more as you go, but that doesn't stop the idea of, if not literal, metaphorical darkness in certain aspects of our life. No worries. Which time, Smokey? 5 your time or 5 my time? Which is fine, Jeremy. I mean, what I would say is, I always tell this to people, don't prejudge. What I mean by that is, don't like don't prejudge what you believe. Go to a Masonic lodge and express your interest in joining if you wanted to join. And when they ask you what you believe in terms of Supreme Being, give your answer based on, again, what you think, what you understand, and see just what they say. Because it very well may be that you do believe in a type of Supreme Being that would be acceptable to Freemasons, because our definition is probably more expansive than what people think. Um, my time, so 5 your time is 6 my time. Josh, be nice to the people on the stream. You're going to get yourself, including Smokey. And everybody go and subscribe to Smokey's channel, by the way. He's a cool dude. Otherwise, you're going to end up getting yourself in a bit of a timeout. Well, Heather, I can tell you, you definitely are in the dark about Freemasonry. So, whatever it is you may think, you're without question in the dark when it comes to Freemasonry. Please take a moment, though, hit that like and subscribe button. I would truly, truly appreciate everybody watching this. We can ill. It all depends on the lodge itself. Freemasonry is not a charity. Having said that, Freemasonry definitely can engage in charitable works and charity. It just depends on the lodge itself and what they choose to do. Some focus more on social events, some focus more on charity. What I would say is if you join Freemasonry, you are in a privileged position to be able to do more in terms of charity. So what that means is you could definitely, without question, join and then talk to the lodge about, like, I want to do some charitable acts. Here's what I'm thinking, and you go from there, right? And you give your suggestions. Don't tell people to go away from my stream. That's not very nice. Crunch Daniels, food allergies, I suspect, are very real. I'm not a doctor, but I'm willing to make that suspicion. I've talked about this before, actually, how I think junior wardens should have training on food handling, just so if they ever are responsible for food, they are doing so safely, and taking into account allergies, because that could really hurt somebody. Yes, Den. So Freemasonry, it evolved from stonemasonry, right? Freemasonry is the social aspect. Stonemasonry came first. It obviously dates back millions of years if you count our ancestors and stone tools. And eventually they switched over from, not switched, they still have stonemasons as a profession, but Freemasonry evolved from that and became a social aspect or a social group, kind of, that still has much of the symbolism and kind of symbolic relationship to stonemasonry. Yeah, let's not be, I'm not a doctor, but I'm pretty sure food allergies are real. Certainly within Freemasonry, we should pay attention to them and care about the health of our brothers. That includes any allergies they may have. We're going to give it a bit more time. Wait to see who joins. Please take a moment, hit that like and subscribe button if you're new to the stream. If you are not new to the stream, hit that like button, consider a super chat, all that good jazz. Ooh, minus 12 degrees. It's been cold everywhere. I was in Chicago. I came back. Actually, I was in Chicago and I got this. Let me see if I can grab it now to show it off. One of the things I love about Freemasonry is getting these cool things. Well then, Drew, you should not be on YouTube because YouTube is full of baloney. I'm not full of baloney, but being on YouTube and seeing the comments, I got this awesome coin. Let's see if I can get it to, trying to get it to see if I can get it to actually focus on the thing so you can see it better. Well, I'm here talking about it, so let's see if I can go like this. Oh, there you go. I got this from King Oscar Lodge, number 855, where I went to their installation, and I got this really cool King Oscar Lodge band as well. Nick Morris, please hit like and subscribe. I'm here talking about Freemasonry, so I guess say what you will. I have no problem talking about Freemasonry. Hello, Underground. Thank you for being here. We're going to give it another half hour. Then I'm going to be switching over to my webcam because I need to share the screen because I got some cool stuff I want to talk about and maybe even a call to action a little bit. Hello, Ali. Thank you for checking in. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're having an excellent, excellent day. Every day is a Masonic day. Every day is a Masonic day. No worries, Smokey. I appreciate being here. And again, I'll send you the link. So if it's 5 your time, it's after 6 my time. So we shall see. I'll figure it out. I'll send it to you through Discord. And it'll be fun as always. We'll hang out on my personal YouTube channel. And then tomorrow, like I said, we'll do it on my channel. And then maybe in February 29th, we can switch it up and it can be you and I will stream on your channel once again. It'll be fun. Dun, dun, dun. We're just going to wait to see if anyone else jumps in the chat to say hello. And again, half an hour from now, I'm going to switch over to my webcam. I'm going to show some stuff that I think is pretty cool. So. And yes, CD, hit that thumbs up. So how are you surviving in the minus 12 temperatures? I can tell you, I was in Chicago. I got back into Detroit, and it was freezing. I was like, holy cow. There's cold, and then there's like however cold this is. It was insane. So, Jeremy, obviously stonemasonry, right, is a trade. It's a craft. I was about to sneeze. Give me 1 second. It is, the shaping of stone to use, and the shaping and connecting of stone to use in buildings, structures, basically anything that humans may need, going all the way back to stone tools. So it's a trade. At various points throughout history, stonemasons got together and formed guilds, which is another name for a trade union, basically. It was a organization or group that was responsible for, amongst other things, training apprentices on the craft so that people were well trained, as well as a form of kind of social support, a union support, as well as a way to find work, support your brothers. It was also a way to protect the craft. Belonging to one of these guilds was a way to confirm that you were, in fact, a legitimate stonemason, because one of the biggest danger is cowens or pretend masons running around calling themselves stonemasons, being hired, doing substandard work, and then as a result, the entire profession is like frowned upon or looked down upon. So those were the guilds, but they were professional guilds. Eventually, certain people, first in Scotland, then in England, they wanted to join these guilds, not out of a desire for the professional aspect of it, but out of a desire for the social aspect of it. There were a lot of people in these guilds. It was a great way, if you were part of it as a member, you could meet other people, you could get some social support. They were also, stonemasonry was considered very it had a certain cachet to it. So if you joined one of these trade unions, paid dues into it, became a member of it, but you joined for the social aspect is what people started to do, as opposed to the professional aspect of it. More and more people started joining for the social aspect of it, until eventually the quote unquote social or speculative Freemasons outnumbered the operative or the actual professional stonemasons. And then from there, it just kept on growing and growing and growing. Well, I'm not a rabbi. I'm not, whether I'm Jewish or not doesn't make a difference, but I'm definitely not a rabbi. What I am is handsome. That's all that matters. Uh, I mean, I would not say anything's been ruined. Freemasonry changes throughout the years. It still is, in many ways, a working man's club. I mean, in terms of the type of people who are Freemasons, it's everybody from janitors to bankers to CEOs and everything in between. Freemasonry does not discriminate based on one's, how much money one has in the bank, which is one of its greatest strengths. No worries, Jeremy. Did what I say make sense? Um, I hope that it did. Let me know if it did or if it didn't. I mean, I might have coffee breath because I drink so much coffee. I do think, honestly, we don't really get close enough to smell anybody's bad breath, in fairness. So, but maybe if you're gonna chow down on a hot dog, stuffed with onions or chopped with onions before lodge, maybe take a moment to chew some gum. Just be nice to your brothers. Don't, just in case. I am not, first of all, I'm not just a third degree member. I am a third degree member. I'm not a big fan of the term just. I am also a 18th degree Scottish Rite. I'm also a currently worshipful master, as well as a past master, past secretary. I know plenty. You may disagree with that, which is perfectly fine, but I know plenty. Now, I don't claim to know everything, but I think my over 1,000 meetings all around the world should count for something. I'm not a 33rd degree. I'm 18th degree. Well, first degree is entered apprentice. I mean, technically, you don't lose the degree. So you could argue I'm a first degree and a second degree and a third degree and an 18th degree. But ultimately, what I am is a third degree Master Mason, a worshipful master, a past master, past secretary, um, and a few other things as well. I don't know what that means, what position I hold inside my daily ritual. I mean, in Lodge, I currently hold the office of Worshipful Master of Border Cities Lodge number 554. Uh, that is very kind, Darkness Knight. I mean, I don't mind you being a moderator, but you need to be careful. I try to be, um, I do my best to give people chances. So what that means is don't be putting people on moderation too quick. Don't be threatening or putting people on, timeout too quick. Don't be banning people. Don't be threatening people with, banishment either. I'll decide that. Because I have no problem making you not a moderator either. What does the first degree consist of? DJ, if you want to know, you got to join. I mean, I've always said I don't give specifics about I don't give specifics about rituals. What I will say is Freemasonry, they've never seen anything in a ritual that is, never seen anything in a ritual that I would describe as, that is illegal, unsafe, or against one's civic, religious, or philosophical, or even familial kind of requirements. Well, I mean, this is YouTube. This is not Freemasonry. This is my views on Freemasonry and my beliefs about Freemasonry, but this is not Freemasonry. So you don't need to be a Freemason to watch this channel or to be a mod on this channel. Well, Jim, it's fine. I mean, I can remove him as a moderator as well. Having said that, he has been on stream for a bit, and I have seen him here a bunch of times. So far, no issues. So I can always choose who is and is not a moderator. I do not drink alcohol. And there have been some people who I've made mods and then removed afterwards. It's fine. Part of it is a leap of faith, but so is Freemasonry. Um, well, Chai, I think you are misunderstanding a ton of things about Freemasonry with that. First, being a Freemason does not make you wealthy. Anybody who promises you that Freemasonry will make you wealthy is lying to you or scamming you or whatever it might be. So you need to be so careful about that. Second, I've never seen any examples of corruption within Freemasonry. Now, certainly, individual Masons, we're human beings, we're not perfect, we make mistakes. I'm sure there are plenty of examples of Freemasons falling short of their, civic or community responsibilities. I've never seen any examples of corruption in a more general sense within Freemasonry. Um, Earth Freemasons have borrowed, let's use the term, from a variety of different sources. You need to keep that in mind. It's not specific to anything, one thing. I would say the majority of what we quote unquote stole from would be, in a metaphorical sense, stone Masonic guilds and stone masonry. Uh, well, no, CR7 King, I didn't. I don't think you pay attention. I'm thinking of banning you because you say the same things over and over again. I talked about a fight I got into with a brother after a meeting, not mid ritual, and um, it didn't become a physical fight, and we sorted out the next day. The point was, we as Freemasons are human beings, which means we're not perfect. Sometimes passions get the best of us, whatever it might be, but we sorted it out. Um, well, Chai, you don't have to believe it, but you're incorrect. Well, CR7 King, we're not perfect, right? Freemasonry, we're not perfect individuals. Although it does get to a point where if you say the same things over and over again and you're not listening, then it's more a sign that you don't need to be here as opposed to anything about me, right? Because other people get annoyed if the same people say the same things over and over again, or I have to repeat myself over and over again because people don't listen. No, the logo is supposed to represent the square and compasses, which are two stone mason tools. Um, well, I mean, Freemasonry, ultimately, Hungry Ghosts, Freemasonry has its origins not in, not, I mean, its origins are in stone masonry, stone Masonic guilds, the trade unions. Uh, Well, I mean, it's more a lot of everything because you're a very foolish person, CR7 King. And at a certain point, the foolishness just compounds on itself. I am familiar with Manly P. Hall. Keep in mind, he wrote his book, The Secret Teachings of All Ages, um, before he was a Freemason. So you need to keep that in mind. He joined, I think it was like 10, 20, 30 years um, after. I think it was 20 years. After he wrote The Secret Teachings, that he actually joined a Masonic lodge. It does not, Luke. My thoughts are it does not. Freemasonry is not a religion. So worshiping is not a term I would use within Freemasonry. The other thing to keep in mind, Luke, is what matters in terms of what is Freemasonry, right? It's the first 3 degrees. That's the foundation on which Freemasonry rests. This whole idea of quote unquote upper echelons, that's not a real thing. That's not how it works. A 33rd degree Mason has no more power or rank in Freemasonry than a 3rd degree Master Mason. In some instances, he has no more power or rank than an entered apprentice, depending on the circumstances. Um, um, Well, I mean, Nick, I believe that metaphorically, but not literally. Literally, the origins of Freemasonry are stone Masonic guilds in the Middle Ages. Now, there's metaphors that help us understand things. It's kind of like, you know, using Moby Dick is to say that's the origin of whaling industry. It's not, obviously, but there are lessons in there that maybe are applicable. Um, well, you don't acquire special secrets, right? You acquire secrets as it relates to, thank you, darkness. You acquire secrets that are unique to each degree, but they're not special, right? To the extent that there are any special secrets in Freemasonry, they're found in the first three degrees: entered apprentice, fellow craft, master mason. That is the foundation upon which everything else rests. After that, when you get to um, the Scottish Rite, the York Rite, the Shrine, you may get secrets that are related to each specific degree, but they're not special in the sense that they tell you more about Freemasonry. They tell you more about that specific degree. The secret is, I would say the secret is that the world can be made better through the application of brotherly love, relief, and truth. Freemasons are not connected to NASA. However, Buzz Aldrin was himself a Freemason, and he was the second man to walk on the moon. So that's pretty cool. Um, he is not CR7 King. All right. I'm going to put you in timeout because you keep saying a bunch of nonsense. Um, there is not a lodge on the moon Earth, but there is a lodge called Tranquility Valley 2000, which is named after Tranquility Valley, where the lunar module landed. And in fact, Buzz Aldrin did bring with him a charter to claim the moon for the Grand Lodge of Texas. Now, maybe one day we will get the chance to have a Masonic Lodge meeting on the moon or even on Mars. Who knows if Elon Musk can get us there? But I think that would be really cool. Um, we're not going to put him in. We're not going to ban him, but we did put him in timeout for a couple. Communism is a political ideology, no filter, boss. Some Freemasons may lean more towards the left or communism. Some may lean more toward the right or capitalism. Every Freemason has to decide that to himself. I would not describe myself as a communist. I am Scottish Rite. I'm 18th degree Scottish Rite. Um, do I believe in extraterrestrials? I do not. I do not think aliens exist. That's my theory. I could be wrong, but I don't believe that they exist. I think that if they did, we would see evidence of them and it would be obvious. It seems to me that the arguments for extraterrestrial life is just the size of the universe. It's so big that they must exist. I don't buy that. I don't think that's the case. Um, no filter. Calm down. I don't know. I would need to know more about the French Rite. 18th degree is Rose Croix. So it could be, there's a lot of different rites. There's Swiss Rite, there's Egyptian, if I recall correctly. There's Scottish, there's York. Good for you, Darkness. Keep up the good work. Keep on trying your best. What do you talk about on your channel again? Well, because there's so much space and so many planets that I can't imagine alien life would be minimal. It's either got to be a ton of alien life everywhere or none except for us. Because the idea that there would be, for example, two or three other alien civilizations, I just don't believe that would be possible. I believe that if life were to exist outside of us, it would be so ubiquitous. You would see evidence of them. You would see satellites. You would see whatever it is you might see. Um, okay, well, I wish you best of luck, Darkness. Top five Masonic women, according to me. Honestly, I need to learn way more about Freemasonry and the Order of Women Freemasons and Co-Masonry. I will say Jennifer, if I recall correctly, her last name, I got to get this now. Um, Jennifer Stowe. She is the past Grand Standard Bearer, Order of Women Freemasons. I had her on my podcast a couple years ago. She's a really cool lady, and I enjoyed talking to her. Um, Fred, again, I just think we'd see it. I think we'd have known it. I mean, even if you don't have faster than light transportation, it doesn't matter. You should still be able to, um, you should still be able to, what's the word I'm looking for? See something. Like you would still, even if without faster than light travel, there's been enough time in the universe and enough time planets have existed that we should see something. But that's my own humble opinion. The question is, if aliens existed, would also, by definition, would also Masonic lodges exist on these planets? That's the question. I'm just sending out a quick note. Give me one sec. I have to send this out quickly. I'm going to be going again, like I mentioned, onto my webcam to share my stream. Yeah, but the universe is 14 billion years. So certainly, maybe not in the span of a biological life form, but for machines to travel through the galaxy, a billion years is more than enough time because the universe is 14 billion years old. Um, I'm pretty sure I know what the planets are. The most famous Freemason I've met. Honestly, I got really close to meeting Brad Paisley once. Right? I got really close to meeting Brad Paisley. I never ended up doing it, but I guess that'd be the closest thing. I've known a lot of Masons who are famous within their areas, like Cameron Bailey. He's past Grand Master of Washington. But yet you're still here. So you don't have to believe, you don't have to appreciate men like here. Or you don't have to appreciate men like me, yet you're here. Um, um, because the universe is 14 billion years of age, at least. Hold on just one second. The universe is approximately 13.8 billion years of age. That's according to all of the things I've read about the universe. I mean, I don't know everything. I could be wrong. I'm not a scientist, but that's my understanding. Um, Thank you, Darkness. By the way, I just made you a moderator for this stream. Then I'll remove you for the time being, just because I don't have a lot of moderators on stream. I tend to pick one or two. I don't have a ton of moderators, but I figured I know you enjoy it. So for this stream and this day, I figured I can make you a moderator. Charlie Kirk, to my knowledge, was not a Freemason. Um, I saw once an interview with him where he said, somebody asked him what he thought of Freemasons, and he said he keeps an open mind. So that's all but I don't believe he was a Freemason. Lizzie, the Aussie, I've got a few Australian people on my stream. There is no, um, there is no single goal of Freemasonry, right? Every Mason has to determine his own goals based on his knowledge of the craft and of Freemasonry. So for me, I would say the goal of Freemasonry is to try to build a better world through the application of brotherly love, relief, and truth. Um, Oh, I can the microwave background, the red shifting of the universe. For the age of the universe, I'm gonna have to say do a Google search or check out like Neil deGrasse Tyson. I'm sure he's answered that question or different science channels. Um, as NASA points out, the universe is nearly 14 billion years old. Our solar system is 4.6 billion years old. Life on Earth has existed for approximately 3.8 billion years. Space.com, how old is the universe? The universe is approximately 13.8 billion years old, but its exact age is not yet clear. Um, I have no idea what that means, what a Sabbatian Frankist is. Uh, so I don't know to what you're referring. Those are some good rules. I will say that. Be nice, have fun, like and subscribe. Being nice is not the easiest thing on YouTube, unfortunately. I will say that. Many people are not the nicest on YouTube. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure Donald Trump is not a Freemason at all. To my knowledge, I've never seen any evidence that he is a Freemason. Now, I could be wrong, um, but I've never seen any evidence that he's a Freemason. I don't believe he is. If he was, I suspect it'd be made a bigger deal of because that might encourage others to join. But at the same time, though, I mean, it's a double-edged sword. Getting politics in Freemasonry is definitely very dangerous because for however many Masons that join, because they like him, do you run the risk of others choosing not to join because they don't like him? It's always the challenge I face. Courtney, or I think politics and Freemasonry faces. Courtney, thank you for being here. I hope you're doing well. You're not late. You can come. You join when you join. It's no trouble at all. People are busy. People have their own lives. That's what you need to focus on. Um, I don't discuss specifics of the ritual Northcast. What I will say is Freemasonry will find a way to make it work if you are joining and you have whatever it is you have. Could be a physical disability, right? Or whatever challenges it is. If you're a good man and true, Freemasonry will make it work. Um, right? And that's a really important thing within Freemasonry. It's one of the reasons I'm proud to be a Freemason is the fact that you can have a physical disability, you can be, whatever differences you have, whether it be physical self, whether it be your politics, your religion, your beliefs, your age, your occupation, your mother tongue, your native language, you still can become a Freemason. I think that's another way as well. To my knowledge, it's the cosmic microwave background and the red shifting of the galaxies that allow us to determine, or allow scientists to determine the age of the universe. I do not know what caput mortem is, so probably not. But science is important. One of my favorite things about Freemasonry is the emphasis that it places on scientific learning and understanding. Um, well, I mean, you can be friends. You should determine with whom you are friends or not friends, um, not based on physical disability. That's for sure. That's not a good reason to be determining. Like, you shouldn't use that to determine who you're friends with. That's for sure. You're not wrong, Rondo. I mean, we don't know anything 100% for sure. That's the thing I love about science is it's always questioning. It's always asking more questions. It's always asking more things of the like it's always willing to re-examine, and that's I think is a beautiful thing about Freemasonry is the fact that it's always asking additional questions. And so yeah, I think that that's one of the great things about science. That's also, in a way, the greatest thing about Freemasonry. It's really interesting. I have recently done some research asking about or trying to study what are some of the characteristics that make that are more likely to predict positive Masonic performance. When I say positive Masonic performance, what I mean by that is likelihood of continuing attendance at a Masonic lodge. And one of the really fascinating things is curiosity and inquisitiveness. People who have that particular personality trait very often tend to be more active within a Masonic lodge or show up more frequently. So, whether it be scientific curiosity or Masonic curiosity, my suspicion is there's a parallel in terms of your activity and performance within Freemasonry. At least that's my theory. So yeah. Thank you, Courtney. That's incredibly kind of you. Once again, don't forget, I appreciate everybody doing a super chat. Obviously, make sure you can afford it, all that stuff. But Courtney, that's incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much. I love your support of this channel over the years, right? You were one of the original kind of, especially when I started doing live streams, you were one of the people who really started to support the channel. And I'm grateful for that. So thank you so much. And I still hope one day to make it to one of your degrees. So let's keep our fingers crossed that I can get there, or one of your events. Um, but thank you everybody for being here as always. So we're an hour in. I'm going to take a five. I'm not a gamer, Crank, but if you did see my Twitter, I hope you followed me on Twitter. It's at Cameron ADAMSO 16. Cameron ADAMSO 16. And so yeah, I hope you'll follow me there. It's really helpful, believe me. It's really, really helpful to the stream to have people follow me on a variety of different social media sites, whether it be Blue Sky or X or YouTube or Twitter or Twitch or Discord. All of that stuff helps out big time. I hope you guys will do so. I did play Assassin's Creed on, I put the videos of it up on YouTube, but I wouldn't describe myself as a full gamer. Like, I enjoy games. I play them when I can, but I'm so busy I don't play them all the time. That's for sure. I got to work on it. But I do enjoy some games. I do enjoy Assassin's Creed 3 because it is so Masonically oriented, if you will. I hope that you'll like and subscribe those. And I probably posted some videos of that on YouTube as well. So, and Twitch and X and all those spots. All right, guys, we are going to be ending this stream. I will be back on in a moment. I hope everybody's doing well, though. Please take a moment, hit the like and subscribe button. Darkness, thank you for being a moderator. You did a great job. I hope people will check out your channels as well. This is not an endorsement. I don't know what you talk about, but nonetheless, check out his streams. And I hope that you continue on with your YouTube journey because you're doing a great job. So I truly, truly appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who is here. And we are going to be going on to we're going to be going on to my webcam in a moment. I'm going to be sharing my stream because there's something I want to talk about. And I want to share the screen to show you something you guys can do. Please hit like, please hit subscribe. I do not play Sons of the Forest, but maybe I'll check it out. All right, guys, I'll be back in like 10 minutes. See you then. Awesome, Darkness. And I hope you achieve your dream. My advice for whatever this is worth is just keep going. Find consistent times to stream and stream during those times. I think that's the key. Consistency over time can make a pretty huge difference. Perseverance is another word for it. All right, guys, see you all soon. Yes, the webcam, the cam.